What's going on, everyone? Today got an absolute banger of a tactic here for you guys. It is a 4-1-3-2 that I've been working on for quite a little bit. Been trying to get it exactly how I want it, and I finally have it exactly how I want it. And I tested with one of my favorite clubs, with FC Porto. I was kind of aiming to try and do what I was able to do in a save with them last year, which was win a quintuple. And I ended up doing a quadruple with them, so was one trophy short, but still absolutely amazing tactic. If you wish to give this tactic a go for yourselves, I'll be linking my Discord down below in the description. That's where you're going to be able to download the tactic from within the download section of the Discord. But now I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. So, like I said, tested with FC Porto. This is the only club that I actually ended up testing with, and it was solely due to what I needed the players to be able to do with this tactic. So, they had the perfect players for what I wanted to do, and they executed it flawlessly. When it comes to the league, we ended up winning the league on 84 points over Sporting and Benfica. And then, like I said previously, we ended up doing a quadruple. We won the Taça de Portugal card, which is the FA Cup, the Lions Cup, which is the Carabao Cup, and then we also won the Super Cup, aka Portugal's Community Shield. So we ended up doing a domestic quadruple, and we got to the quarterfinal of the Champions League, which was absolutely fantastic. When it came to player production, our front four, you'll see why I'm using quotations for front four here in a moment when we do the tactic board side of things. The front four led the way in goals, all four having double digits. Evan Nilsson had 26, Galleno with 20, Tony Martinez with 16, and Pepe had 11. And that was right winger Pepe, not defender Pepe. Then when it came to the assists, it was pretty evenly distributed throughout the side except for one player, Joao Mario, our right back. He had 17 assists. And being that I brought up winger Pepe, we do need to cover the center back Pepe as well very quickly. He was still balling out at 41 years of age and won a quadruple in his final season. But now that we've gone over those numbers, we're going to head over to tactic board real quick and go over kind of how it builds up and everything you need to know about the tactic. Alright, so here we are with the tactic. It is a 4-1-3 sort of ish. It's asymmetric and then a 2. So my asymmetric 4-1-3-2. Very, very good tactic. And why is it a very, very good tactic? Because of how versatile this tactic ends up being. So in build up, it is very, very unique. So the advance forward is the one that moves into channels, as well as the pressing forward, except the pressing forward is on support. Last year I had a tactic where I utilized the pressing forward on support as well, and they were absolutely game breaking because not only would they get forward, they would get back and defend. They were absolutely incredible. So this duo, absolutely broken once again. We then have that inside forward as well who's gonna cut in. They end up making like a lopsided front three. It ends up looking like this in a lot of the highlights that you guys will end up seeing. Then we have our winger. The winger supplies the width on the left side and is also a fantastic option at the far post when he chooses to cut inside and look for a goal for himself. A segundo volante, late arriving. They're going to be up around here. Sometimes we'll go into the box as well. Central midfielder is on defend, so they're going to kind of act like a ball-winning midfielder a little bit. And then we have that inverted wingback coming in as well. So it kind of plays a bit like this, and the segundo volante will cut into the mid, or even the advanced forward will be here. Segundo volante will be up here, can create a front five at times. We have this wingback, they're on support. He's going to supply that width out wide on the right because we have that inside forward cutting inside, basically like a wide striker. Then we also have our ball playing defenders coming up as well, who will get involved with the play. So it can sometimes look like this in the attack, or it can even look like this sometimes as well. But in defense, how does this tactic line up? It lines up as a 4-4-2. So what happens, you have the wingback kind of come back a little bit. Same with the inverted wingback. Segundo volante drops. Central midfielder on defend drops heavily. You have that winger dropping as well. Same with the inside forward, creating the 4-4, and then your two strikers drop as well. Now with the pressing forward, like I said, they do tend to drop a little bit further down and will defend. So you might see that inside forward coming up and you're pressing forward out here at times. So they may decide to interchange in just certain moments when the pressing forward is the one further back defending. And I first noticed that the pressing forward on support would do this, not just this year, but especially last year. I would utilize Marcus Leonardo when I was at FC Porto. He was my pressing forward on support. And even though he was a younger player, he was highly aggressive, not only attacking, but also defensively as well. He would drop into our own half to go win the ball and then play it off, and then we would counter. The pressing forward on support is kind of crazy. So with this tactic, it allows you to do a lot of things. It's very versatile. There's a lot of interchanging roles within it as well. And that striker duo up top with the advanced forward on attack, press forward on support, is absolutely overpowered, especially if you have the right players to play those areas. I had to settle for Tony Martinez. I wish I had my Marcus Leonardo that I had last year to play with Evan Nelson up front, because that was my duo. They were absolutely ridiculous. But Tony Martinez, Evan Nelson, both did absolutely fantastic with this test as well. But now what we're going to do is kind of break down how the tactic looks, which within the 2D match engine as well as the 3D match engine. 2 games of 2D highlights, 1 game of 3D match engine highlights, which is where you're going to see them absolutely dominate. Alright, so the first highlight that we are going to be going over is a match between Porto and Portimonense within league play. We end up beating them 5-1. I am only going to show you guys 3 of the goals though. Those 3 goals that I'm going to be showing were later on in the match from the 58th minute on, because the first 2 were from corners. So going to be showing you guys the goals that were not from corner set pieces basically. And those goals that you will be watching, they're scored by Evan Nelson and then the winger, that is Pepe. So from those highlights right there, the one thing that I want to highlight is basically how much chaos there is in your opponent's box. They don't know who to cover, especially when João Mario, the wingback, is coming down that right wing. He has 3 options to get the ball to: the pressing forward, the advanced forward, and the inside forward. And we saw right there, the opponent does not know which one it is going to, because they are staggered a little bit. You have that advanced forward a little bit more forward, then you're pressing forward, then the inside forward. That inside forward kind of stays kind of a bit between that pressing forward and advanced forward, and it makes it really hard to track them within the box. They are very good. Alright, so next up, the highlight that I'm going to be showcasing is a 3-1 win by Porto over Benfica in the Taça de Portugal Picard final. So, I'm going to be showing 2 out of our 3 goals because one of them was a pen. No point in really showing the pen. So, I'm going to be showing you guys the goals that come from Tony Martinez, who is playing as the pressing forward, and Evan Nelson, who is playing as the advanced forward in this match. So, definitely keep an eye on both of them. So there, from those 2 goals, both players, right place, right time. They're always at the right place at the right time as well. Once again, João Mario going playmaker as well. He's been absolutely fantastic as that wing back. I mean, 17 assists in all competitions. That's absolutely fantastic. Now, the final match I'm going to be showing highlights from is a 6-1 win by Porto over Famalicão within league play. This is going to be in the 3D match engine, so I'm just going to let all the goals play out. You will get to see Evan Nelson have a hat trick, which starts with a penalty in the 4th minute. One word basically comes to mind when I watch this tactic play out, and it is wow. Sometimes incredible, but mostly wow. But this tactic is absolutely amazing. It reminds me a lot of one that I had last year that I utilized with them, and they are absolutely dominant with it, mainly because of the players and player types that I needed to pull this tactic off. And if you end up having the players to play these roles, you're going to absolutely dominate your opponents and might honestly win every single trophy available to you. But now we're going to go ahead and get a deep dive look into what all the player instructions are and the roles within the tactic on the FM side of things. So, the tactic file you're going to be looking for in the download section of the Discord is Gormy's 4132 Asym Water Hashira. Features an advanced forward on attack up top with a pressing forward on support. The inside forward on attack is on the right wing, then in left midfield is the winger on support. You have a central midfielder on defend, a segundo volante on support, inverted wingback on support at left back, a wingback on support at right back, and then we have two ball playing defenders on defend and a sweep keeper on defend. Now, both striker positions are going to have one similar instruction, and you can see right here, mark specific position. What is the mark specific position for both of them? For the advanced forward on attack, he is that left striker, so he's going to be marking their right center back. Pressing forward on support is on the right side for the strikers, and he's going to be marking their left center back. The pressing forward also has move into channels. The inside forward on attack has crosses aimed at center and shoot more often. The winger on support has cross from the byline, crosses aimed at center, and tackle harder. Central midfielder on defend was left as is. The segundo volante on support has move into channels and tackle harder. The inverted wingback on support was also left as is. The wingback on support has cross more often and crosses aimed at center. Both ball playing defenders were left as is. The sweep keeper on defend was left unchanged as well. When it comes to the mentality with this tactic, either use balanced, positive, or attacking. I would suggest using balanced or positive. You will probably get the most out of this tactical system by going with those two mentalities. You can, however, go attacking, and I would suggest going attacking if you need a goal later on. When we're in possession, we have a fairly narrow attacking width. We look for the underlap on the left and the overlap on the right while playing out from the defense. The reason for that underlap on the left, we're looking for that segundo volante, as well as the inverted wingback when they choose to make their runs. The overlap on the right is mainly looking for that wingback or the inside forward. When in the final third, we use low crosses and we work the ball into the box, and we have shorter passing directness and slightly higher tempo. When we're in transition, we counter press and counter, and we distribute to the fullbacks and center backs. And once out of possession, we have a high press line of engagement and a higher defensive line with more often trigger press and prevent short goalkeeper distribution, which having our strikers kind of mark those center backs and be a little bit more aggressive definitely is going to be helping with that. Now, when it comes to the ability of club needed to play this style of football, you can use it with literally, and I mean literally, anyone at any level. You just need to make sure that you have the right players for this system. So if you're at the Vanarama national level, it's going to be harder to find players to fit this system. So don't be mad if you are playing with like Bath City and it's not working. It's probably because you don't have the right players for this system. You might have to gradually build into it, but the system is absolutely fantastic. And if you do have the players to be able to play something like this, you definitely need to give it a go. When it comes to tactical tweaks with this, there's only one tweak that I would end up making. If you want to make it, that is, it is down to preference, basically on roll. If you want to switch the central midfielder on defend to something else, you can. I would suggest either the ball-winning midfielder or the box-to-box midfielder. Ball-winning midfielder either on defend or support, most likely support, and that box-to-box midfielder only comes on support. So if you want to change it from that central midfielder on defend, even though it does perform very, very well in the system, definitely feel free to do so if that is something you would like to do. But there we have it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys wish to give this tactic a go for yourselves, once again, I'll be linking my Discord down below in the description. That's where you guys are going to be able to download the tactic from within the download section of the Discord. But if you have enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so I want to hit that sub button. Right now on screen will be popping up my most recent tactic, which is a Jose Luis Mendili bar 4231 with Olympiacos. So if you guys like to check that out, definitely feel free to do so. Well, until next time, everyone, have a good one. Bye-bye.